When it comes down to the debates and when it comes down to what was said and how it's said, there are two sides to every story. There is the West Coast side, and then, of course, there is the East Coast side of things. Head east now for a different perspective. The big guns ate up almost every slice of interest in what was a ratings drop from the previous two. But less than 2% of the TVs in use were tuned to the junior varsity GOP debate, where Lindsey Graham may or may not have come out the winner, depends on if you watched it. People in his home state were likely tuning in, which is why we bring in our next guest. He's heard weekday afternoons at 95.9 The Point in Columbia, South Carolina, Keven Cohen. All right, Kevin, Lindsey Graham comes out, and right after his appearance, some people are asking either he's a presidential candidate or he's a stand-up comic. How do the people back in South Carolina view him?
People in South Carolina look at Lindsey Graham, and they would like to see him get out of the race. They recognize he's a bright guy. They recognize he is very good on foreign policy, but they'd rather have him as a United States Senator from South Carolina versus a presidential candidate at this point.
But if he's all good at those things, and if he does so well, and if he knows his foreign policy, why wouldn't the voters there want him to become president? It would seem to be that you want somebody there who knows what he's doing.
If this were a general election, I think Lindsey Graham would be doing much, much better, even in his own state. But because this is a primary for the Republicans, Lindsey's not that popular when it comes to the Republican Party within his own state. This is a state that when it comes to our elections here, we don't require you to declare for Republican or Democrat or a party, so he does great. He'll be elected as long as he wants as a South Carolina senator. But as a presidential candidate, Ed, it's not going to happen for him here.
All right, here's a real quick one from the junior varsity debate where he has a little bit of his humor that gets in here. Let's hear Lindsey Graham.
Now, if you're looking for good beer policy, I'm your best bet. My dad owned a bar. I know beer.
I got about 40 seconds left. So with all this, and why don't Republicans in South Carolina think much of him?
They respect him. Again, it's a situation where they don't think he's conservative enough. He has talked with the enemy too much. He has sat down at the other table too much, things like that. Now, the thing about Lindsey Graham that I like is that I'm actually for a president that's able to get things done and sit down with people. The only question about Lindsey Graham is he has gotten himself in very deeply at times, Ed, with the other side, and he thinks that negotiation's a great idea, but the other side just keeps kicking and kicking and kicking, and the Republicans get nothing back in return. So as a result, people feel like Lindsey Graham has been used in a bad, bad way by the Democrats.
15 seconds. Who were your top three from the debate?
I thought that Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, and Chris Christie all stood out last night.
See, and there you go. I think even Chris Christie, as soon as he hit that fantasy football comment, I think all of America started to listen up. Reminder once again, 95.9 The Point in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where you hear Keven Cohen, and we'll talk to him again soon. Kevin, thanks for joining us. Let's next deal with this cop versus student issue in telling it like it is. This is going to be a little bit uncomfortable for some people because there are some truths involved in here that maybe we all need to realize. It's next, right here on The Hardline.